PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with your PWCC weekly auction number, gosh, I should have looked, 112? Weekly auction number 111. That ended last night. Today is March 4th. This weekly auction number 111 ended last night, March 3rd. Some real interesting results. We're going to go through the top 48 highest sold basketball card prices. If you're new to the channel and you like this video, hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. Hit the like button and hit the bell icon for notifications of future videos. I'm releasing more than a video a day. It's not an auction recap every day, but there is a basketball and or basketball card related video every single day for your viewing pleasure on the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel. And some weeks I have up to 10 videos, and there's only 7 days in a week, even down here in South Louisiana. So just a call to action. If you guys like what you hear today and like the way that I do things, these weekly auction recaps, you're going to get them every single Monday morning. The premier auction from PWCC, you're going to get once a month on the Friday morning after they end on Thursday nights. And tons and tons of basketball card related with a heavy emphasis on Jordan and 90s stuff, but also some ultra modern stuff and also just some general, perspective of the hobby type stuff as well. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get going, give you guys what you want to see here, which is the top 48 highest selling basketball cards on last night's PWCC weekly auction number 111. We're going to start with this one. 1955 All-American Sports Club Bob Cousy hand cut. Fellas, it does not get any dustier than this. This is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, to say the least. I didn't know PSA 10s existed for the year 1955, but this is a PSA 10, making it a Pop 2. They call it a rookie on here. Again, I'm not a vintage expert. It looks like a little teeny tiny hand cut card. It is a PSA 10. It's a Pop 2. It does 2,040 last night. A Giannis Prism Purple from 2013 Select. This is a rookie. It's a BGS 9.5 mixed gem with a 9 for centering and a 10 for corners. That card does 2,070. Giannis cards have taken a beating, and again, he's sneaking his way into this MVP conversation. I know Jokic is there. I know SGA is there, pushing hard towards the top of the Western Conference standings. But people are sleeping on Giannis. He's putting up historic numbers again, as usual. And I think, like Jokic and like a Giannis, we start to take these guys for granted. Like a LeBron, what he's doing at age 67 this season, we're starting to take for granted some of the numbers these dudes are putting up. They're otherworldly and historic, and they're just kind of tacking on to their historical resume. We'll see where Giannis and Jokic finish up. We kind of know LeBron is sort of solidified in that 2-3 spot. I don't think he can be the GOAT, and I don't think he can slip to fourth. There's nothing he can do to slip beyond Kareem. So it's LeBron and Kareem in some order at the 2-3 spot. Comment below if you think I'm crazy, but I think that's where LeBron is sort of locked in, unless he plays till age 57 or something like that. 2003 Select Prism, Giannis does 2,070. We got a PMG Red. We've seen some PMG Reds selling lately. And this is the 97 Metal Universe, the original PMG Reds, right? None of this retro stuff. There's not greens. You're not going to see very many of those. Maybe once every half a year, you'll see a green sell at a public auction. But this is the red Stackhouse, and it's a PSA 4, and it sold last night for 2,190. And before you guys throw up on your screen regarding a PSA 4, these cards are tough to grade, okay? I know I've had my hand in a lot of these PMG Reds. About 150 of them have flowed through my collection at one time or another, and PSA 4 is on the lower end, but you don't see PSA 7s hardly ever. Well, not very often. So you're usually dealing in that PSA 4 to 6 range. If it's BGS, you're usually in that 7 to 8.5 range. So that Stackhouse does 2,190. It's torn to pieces on the bottom edge there, as you can see in the bottom left corner. But that's par for the course with those 97 PMG Reds. We've got an Anthony Edwards Cosmic Prism. I don't know what that means. It's a good-looking card. It's sort of a poor man's Nebula. This PSA 10 is a Pop 7, and this Cosmic Rookie does $2,310. Right next to it, I want to look this up. This is a 1996 Flair Showcase Legacy Collection Row 1 Allen Allen Iverson. This is a rookie card. It's a Legacy Collection, which is a Tier 1 type card from the 90s, for those of you familiar. Certainly, it's one of the, let's just say, 30 best Allen Iverson rookie cards in the world. Is that a safe assumption? 30 best? You know, in anybody's, rankings, I would think it would be a top 30. And this is a Pop 13. PSA 9 is a good grade for this card. There's only 3 PSA 10s in the world. And these are serial number to 150. It does 2,310 last night. Here we go. I've got it sorted by date sold. The last time this card sold was in October of 2022. So it's down about $1,000 since that. It's down more than $1,000 since September of 2022. I like that purchase price last night for an Iverson collector. 2,310 looks to be a nice pickup. The next card, you know we got to look this up. This is the 97 Ultra Court Masters Michael Jordan PSA 9, another card you'll find in the Michael Jordan hierarchy. 2,400 for this PSA 9 MJ Court Masters. Here's your chart, right? Here's your chart on the left. I don't know what, everything seemed to make sense at first over the last year, and then all hell breaks loose. It jumps from 2,400 to 2,867, down to 2,300, back to 2,950, pushing the 3,000 mark, and then last night back to 2,400. So I don't know what's going on with the PSA 9 Court Masters. Again, I've got the sales pulled up over here. You can always look at each individual sale to see if you want to try to make sense of it. Maybe it was the wrong timing. Maybe it was the wrong platform. Maybe this PSA 9 had a glaring flaw that PSA missed, or that you think PSA missed. Maybe the seller had a low rating. Maybe it was on the wrong platform. Who knows? Maybe it was a buy it now or a best offer versus an auction. All sorts of criteria. You guys need to weigh those yourselves. I'm just the conduit, right? I'm just the messenger here, bringing you the data. You guys have to dig into the data and make conclusions regarding the data. But 2,400 for that Court Masters, no matter how you stroke it, that's what she said. 48% growth, even with last night's poor performance of 2,400. 48% up over the last 1 year, almost hitting the 3,000 mark, and the low almost hitting the 1,500 mark. So interesting data right there. Big card either way, no matter how you slice it. Then we're going to go right back to card ladder. We got to look this card up. Is there anybody in the world playing at the level of Jokic, right? You got your SGAs, you got your Giannis, you had Embiid before he got hurt, averaging more points than minutes played for the first time since Wilt the Dipper did it way back in the 60s. This 2015 Jokic Ruby Wave was serial number to 350. This is a PSA 10 copy. It sold for $25.20 last night. There's your chart. So now we've got some cards that we're going to see running. This is up. Yeah, you heard it right. Over the last year, right? Everybody's like, the hobby's down, cards are down, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Not Jokic. Up 88%. Over the last 1 year. Last night it sells for the third highest price that it has sold for over the last 12 months, $2,880. That's an impressive up and to the right green trend right there. We've got a Booker Flawless Super Sapphire, serial number to 10. PSA 10, no grade for the autograph. It looks like it's mislabeled by PSA. It should say Super Sapphire, but it says Super Signatures. So for whatever that's worth, I know PSA takes care of stuff like that. This is a rookie Booker. It does $25.20. We've got a PWCC PSA 6 Eye Appeal sticker, which means top 30%. It's the weakest of the stickers, but it still does add a premium. This this Lou Alcindor, does $2,520. After that, we got two Steph Curry autograph rookies, both 10 for the auto, $26.40, $26.40 respectively, and then a 2019 Contenders Kobe autograph PSA 9 does $2,760. Next, we have a 1985 Nike promo BGS 9.5 mixed gem. I don't think I looked that card up. No, I didn't look that card up. I will say this, just food for thought. The BGS 9.5, Beckett grades it about 5 times easier than PSA. It's about a 4 to 5 ratio as far as gem percentage, right? BGS being the much easier gem grade to attain. And not coincidentally, the value of the 9.5, and again, subgrades are going to alter this, right? Because you'll see some exceptional 9.5s that people think maybe I can buy it and cross it, or maybe they just want the best 9.5. You'll see some aberration or some volatility in in the graph for the 9.5 for sure, but the 9.5 is about 1/5 of the value of the PSA 10, and that's a card that we know ran like ape shit during the the Last Dance post-pandemic nonsense where everything went crazy. So that card right now has settled at about $27.60 for that mixed gem right there. Or actually, that's a min gem copy right there. We got a Cornerstones Downtown Steph Curry from way back in 2017. That's a BGS 10 copy, and that makes it a pop 4. That does $28.80. And then we've got a Contenders autograph, the finals version, serial number to 49, Anthony Edwards, BGS 9.5, 10. That card does $3,000. I feel like Ant's getting lost in the shuffle a little bit right here. The Timberwolves are performing at or near the same level as the Thunder. SGA is getting all the attention. SGA's plays a little bit more of that. What's the word? I don't know, but his gravitas is different, right? His gravity on the floor is different than Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards almost in the mold of a Michael Jordan. And don't get me wrong, look, nobody's going to throw him in the same conversation, but like true scoring, shooting guard. He's not the guy that's the playmaker that is Doncic and SGA and Halliburton and these types of folks. He's not that guy, but in the fourth quarter when shit breaks down and it's ISO City in the playoffs and you need a big, strong guy that can get you a bucket or get you to the free throw line and score at all three levels, Anthony Edwards has to be in the conversation with those other guys, the SGAs and guys like that. So more of a Kobe type, more of a Jordan type. That's just the brand of his game. And I want to reiterate, I'm not saying it's on the level of those guys, but that's the type of game he has. Just an absolute get me a bucket, super strong wing that can score at all three levels like the aforementioned fellas. 2009 Panini Limited Steph Curry, serial number to 299. Patch auto does 3,120. Let's look up the mailman, even though he's a child molester. I shouldn't say that. He's not a child molester. He's a pedophile. No, I shouldn't say that. He just sleeps with young girls that are not of the age of consent. That's just whatever that's called. That's what he does or did. 1986 Fleer Carl PSA 10, 3,240 for that Malone. That is a good-looking sale in comparison to the last two comps. This is a card like many 1986 Fleer over the last 1 year, and you can see it on here, 3.85%. That's damn near as close to even as you can get. Now, look, you're going to have some rising and some falling, some ebbing and some flowing because, of PWCC eye appeal stickers or, some 10s don't look like 10s, new label, old label, and all that nonsense. But you're going to notice if you go dig into the weeds and pump out some of this data, you're going to see that 1986 Fleer cards, for the most part, and I'm not talking about the Jordan 86 Fleer PSA 10. We can talk about that on another show when one of them actually sells. But like the Birds, the Magics, the Malones, the Ewings, the Olajuwons, the Barkleys, even the Kareems and the Magics, if you go look at those cards in PSA 10, those have started to settle. So we're starting to settle in and saturate, right? They went crazy, then they just nosedived, and now we've kind of found out where they belong. And if you don't believe me, here you go. Here's the all-time chart, and this is just one example. That is a pretty precipitous rise, wouldn't you say, to the all-time high of $15,600, okay? And now the card has come all the way back down to 3,240. And I know that sounds, devastating. But if you go back, in 2020, it was a $1,200 card. So the card's it's almost 3 times as valuable as it was in 2020, 3 years ago. So I don't, again, it's hard because our perceptive is so warped because of the spikes, because all of the graphs have a big middle finger in the middle. Let's look up the 98 Skybox EX Century Duncan Go Nuts. This is a PSA 9 copy. It is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Last night it does 3,360. And here's a card that's come back to the pack twice in a row. That's rare, okay? It is a 9, not a 10. But this is the 9 chart, even with the last 2 sales. And this sale last night was surprisingly low. Again, how you take a picture of the card means a lot. Look at these last few pictures, right? So this one is with a black backdrop, so you can't tell if it's yellow or white. This one looks yellow to me, and then this one, I can't tell either. It just depends on the picture. Here's a nice copy where you can see the gentleman's hand in the background. The way you take the picture could make it look like a completely different card. So that's something really important to remember. If you're ever trying to sell one of these, right, and you want to get max dollar, my best advice Well, if it's clear, is to put a white sheet of paper behind it. If it's not clear and you put a white sheet of paper behind it, it's going to be very clearly yellow. So I'm not telling you not to do that, but the only true way to know if you're looking to buy this on Instagram or off market or something like that in a private sale, put a sheet of white paper behind it, and you can kind of see the clarity of the card. It does go a long way in determining. Either way, even with 2 consecutive significantly downward sales, the card's still up 21%. Over the last year, and that's a 16 sale sample size, so a pretty big sample size. The Doncic Purple Jolly Rancher does 3480. Cartoon Tatum does 3480 and a 9.5. We've got the 2016 Immaculate Collection Premium Patch Autographs Platinum. That's a mouthful. That's what she said. Pop 1. This is a 1 of 1. Of course, it's a Pop 1. This is a 1 of 1 card. I wondered why I'd never seen this card in my life. But this Devin Booker, that's a cool looking card right there. It's a BGS 7, which makes me want to vomit on an ultra modern card or a modern card, but it is a BGS 7. 3480 for that Devin Booker right there. That is the 2016 Immaculate Collection Patch Auto 1 of 1. Cool card. Jordan PSA 6 does 3480, and then yours truly steps back into the ring and knocks and checks off a big Atomic Refractor PSA 10. I owned the PSA 9. It was time to upgrade, and what did I do? I just went ahead and paid more than anybody's ever paid for this card, which has become customary for me. All the cards that I want seem to be the cards where I've got to pay more than the highest comp of all time. I did it again last night, I'm ashamed to say. Here's the card last night that I won, March 3rd, 2024, and I paid not just more, shitload more than anybody's ever paid for that card. $3,600 for that card. The pop report is tough, though, and that's why I chased it where I chased it. There's 51 of them. It's been graded about, 400 times, something like that. There are 51 PSA 10s out there. It's actually got a pretty good gem rate. Here's the deal, and this is just rationalization, right? I'm 1,000 over the most anybody's ever paid for this card. And the way I rationalize it is I've got the PSA 9. I'm going to go move the PSA 9, so I'm going to recoup some of that cost back so it doesn't hurt as bad. Again, this is a card where they took a great picture. There's definitely no yellowing on this one. And now I'm making my move into, I think there's 8 Atomic Refractor Playing Day Jordans. And so happy to pick up another PSA 10 copy of those. There's not very many PSA 10 copies. This is probably the easiest of all of the Jordan Atomic Refractor PSA 10s to obtain unless somebody knows otherwise. I think this is probably the highest pop. So 3,600, I don't mind. There's one of the Magics that we mentioned, 3840. Here's another Magic, 3960. So it just depends on which of those you prefer. And again, those cards are relatively steady. The Kareem, relatively steady for the PSA 9 sticker. That does 3960. Remember, PSA 10 is where all hell breaks loose and you're talking about $250,000 because it's like a pop 16 or something silly. The 2003 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection. So this is first year Exquisite, right? Inaugural year Exquisite. Every single card in the set, to the best of my knowledge, is serial numbered. This is just a base card, but it's serial number to 225. And if it's Jordan and it's serial number to 225 and it's Exquisite, it's going to sell for thousands. And it did. 4,200 for that PSA 7. The Drexler BGS 8 far outpaces the Stackhouse. 4,200 for this Drexler PMG BGS 8. And then we've got a Patrick Ewing PSA 10 86 Fleer. I want to look that up. There's another example. Like I said, has it steadied out? You tell me. It's 2.94% over the last 14 sales. This one had a nice little eye appeal sticker last night. It's a 30% eye appeal sticker, so nothing super sexy, but that gets the card a nice little bump over the last sale of 39 and some change. Not quite as big a bump as I would have suspected, but that is the 4th or 5th highest sale out of the last 14 over the last year, but only a pop 161 for that iconic best-in-class Ewing rookie card. Here's the Star Power Supreme. I'm going to click on this one because I want to show you guys, and I've talked about this on the channel before. Let's click it and let's look at it. Look at the top left on the die cut portion on the blue foil, and you'll notice if you look over here, look where my cursor is wiggling around up here. It's slow loading, but you can see there's some serious foil loss right there, right? See that white area right here where my little mouse cursor is? That is supposed to be blue like all the rest of this, like all the rest of this. This is a notorious flaw in these cards. I have a PSA 10. It's probably worse than this. I've seen a PSA 9 just like this. And you're going to see it in almost every single grade. It's very, very rare to find a copy of this card without some of that light blue foil loss. You just don't see it very often. So let's go back. The card sold for $4,680. What I'm getting at is just expect to see it. And if you don't see it, it's a rare exception. Where are we? There it is. How about that for Steady Eddie, right? Over the last year, the card's only sold twice. Why? There's only 27 of them. If we look at the pop report, there's 15 PSA 10s. That's a $13,000 card. When you drop to the 9s, you drop to about 40% of the value. And you'll see that that's about a $4,680 card. That's what it sold for last night. That's about what it sold for in July of last year. So we kind of know the going rate for that Ultra Star Power Supreme. Remember, that's part of a three card insert set, right? You got the Star Power base, not that rare. You got the Star Power Plus, pretty rare and green and pretty cool. Green in a good way. And then you got this yellow in a good way, Star Power Supreme, that has the foil loss tendency, and that PSA 9 does $4,680. The Neek sticker does $4,800. The Kareem base 86 Fleer does $4,800. The Bird 86 Fleer PSA 10 does $5,160. Clearly somebody decided they're going to get out of their 86 Fleer PSA 10s. I don't know, but I'm guessing this is probably the same consigner of a lot of these 86 Fleer PSA 10s who's looking to just make moves and recycle and reinvest their money. We've got a triple auto Bird Magic Doc scoring leaders rookie 1980, 5,160. This is a PSA 7 with a 10 for the autograph, 5,160 for that card, and it does have a PWCC Eye Appeal sticker, top 30%. Next, let's look up a Kobe card. 1998 Bowman's Best Kobe Bryant Atomic Refractor. It's kind of cracked ice / atomic / gold. That's what it looks like to me, with these gold flecks in the background. Sort of got that little speckled look. Card number 88. This PSA 10 is a pop 13, and these were serial numbered to 100. This card does 5,280. I've got it pulled up. This card sold for the lowest price of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sales, all the way dating back to July of 2021. Out of the last 7 sales, this is the lowest this card has ever sold for. So that should make Kobe Bryant buyers very happy and Kobe Bryant owners a little bit sad if you own this card in particular. Next to it, we got what I think is a very high sale for a Luka Doncic card. Again, it is serial number 10. It's gold, and I know gold serial number 10 is kind of the way that you avoid the mass print runs of the ultra modern products, but it's not a rookie card. It's a second year, 1-in-1 gold Luka Doncic PSA 10. That makes it a pop 1, of course. 5,400 for that Doncic. I guess what I'm getting at is, again, I don't really even like Kobe, and I certainly don't collect Kobe, and I love Doncic, but like if you're giving me an option about these two cards, give me the Kobe. Just give me the Kobe. I don't know what else to say. Let me know in the comments. Am I crazy? Which of these two would you guys prefer? I know this is a 10 times the print run, but I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough decision. I guess it just depends on what you enjoy collecting the most. Let's look up this Doncic though. In a 2019 Spectra Color Blast, the Color Blast, the Kabooms, the Downtowns. I'm trying to think of some of the other ultra modern inserts that sort of seem to have taken a hold and might have some enduring, lasting value and recognizability. The Color Blast is certainly amongst the list. This 2019 Spectra is the second year Doncic. PSA 10 is a pop 12. It did $5,640 last night. I've got it right here. It's actually in the Card Ladder database. This card's getting punched right betwixt the Nuggets. 65% down. It's a pop 12, like I said. Here's the problem. It's a pop 12 and it's sold 11 times. So again, that's flippers in, out, short-term investors in, out. When a card that's this rare sells this many times, it's very tough to sustain value. And so last night's sale was the lowest sale ever for this card, down from 11,400 all the way to 5,640. This card unquestionably, percentage-wise, was the biggest loser last night. It got demolished. So again, there's two sides to every coin. There's two perspectives. If you're looking to get back into Doncic, if he came out and he was just, you missed the initial, right? You could have made I made a great deal of money in Doncic very early, before the hobby truly exploded, buying him this rookie year. at what we thought were expensive prices then. He went crazy, ran to the moon, right? I sold out. I actually made a good decision for once and sold at the peak instead of buying at the peak like I did with the Atomic. I sold at the peak, right? I did really well on Doncic. Maybe not the perfect peak, but you get the point. You know, the other perspective is maybe you always wanted to buy the Doncic, but you never could. The same way I want to buy Wembanyama, but I can't. I just can't do it. My mom won't let me do it. Now might be the time where you can, make some shrewd, logical decisions and get into certain Luka Doncic cards that you maybe knew or thought you knew were massively overpriced. I mean, going back and looking at the chart again, my God, this was a $25,000 card. Is this a $25,000 card? Should this second year Doncic Color Blast sell for the same, $8,000 more than a Michael Jordan PSA 9 Fleer rookie, more than a low grade star 101 Michael Jordan rookie, or compared to some of the Kobe stuff? I don't know, man. 5,640 sounds a lot more reasonable, but that's a massive drop from the last sale of 11,000 plus. Tiger Stripe draft pick T-shirt Wemby does 6,600. A Jordan 87 Fleer 6,900. This is second year Jordan. This BGS 9.5, which looks pretty off center to me. It's got a 10 for centering, which is, I don't know how that works because it's clearly off center left to right, right to left, I should say. But it's got two 10s for subgrades, 6,900 for that BGS 9.5. We got to look up the 98 Metal Universe, the die cut, Planet Metal, PSA 10. That's a low pop card, 7,800. I've got it right here, up. So, 62.28 jumps to 72.11, jumps all the way to 7,800. So 2 consecutive upward sales of that. But look, this really surprised me. Over the last year, it's down. It's down 18%. Like I said, it's only a pop 32. If you look at the pop report, it's 11% gem rate. It's been graded a little over 500 times between PSA and BGS. Who knows how many of those are cracks and crosses or cracks and resubs, but about the similar gem rate between PSA and BGS. A lot more... There's actually exactly 32 gems by each. So 32 BGS 9.5s, 32 PSA 10s. The card 7,800 up, like I said, from the last few sales before that, but down 18% over the last year. Interesting there. You don't see that with a lot of Jordan cards. 8,100 for this complete set with a Michael Jordan PSA 7. You'll have to dig yourself. I don't know if it's all PSA 7s or if it's some raw or some 8s or some 6s. I don't know. We see this card quite often. The 2003 SP Authentic LeBron James rookie auto serial number to 500 BGS 9 does 9,300. We've got a green Kobe refractor PSA 8.5 half grades, half grades and a green. That's tough. It's a tough sell right there. 10,800 for that Kobe chrome refractor with Horacio Nesterovic in the background. And then we've got a Jordan SGC 9, does 11,400. And then let's look up the 97 Metal Universe Championship Galaxy Jordan PSA 10, where it looks like he's laying this in. That might be Walt Williams, the Wizard. I don't know. I'd have to do my research on Basketball Reference. But Jordan laying it in. This is a really beautiful card, and I am lucky enough to own a copy of the same card in the same grade. 11,700 for the Championship Galaxy. There's your chart. So almost exactly on the number of the last one, 12,000. The card's been as high as 13,800 over the last 2 years. It's sold 11 times. It's only a pop 26. So more rare than the Planet Metal for sure. There's your gems right there. The BGS is about one half the value, 24% gem rate, only a pop 26 and PSA 10. Card's about as steady as it gets, 2.6% growth rate, but the last 2 sales have been right on each other. So we kind of know where that one stands right now. And then here we are in the top 3, and it's Jordan, Kobe. So nothing but blue bloods here at the top, right? The goats of the goats, the elite. And we've got the Jordan Fusion. This card's been selling a lot lately, and I'm about to show you the chart. 16,200. Remember, there's a Molten Metal Fusion Titanium, which is hole punch, laser cut, serial numbered to 40. This is serial numbered to 250. Very, it resembles the... Michael Jordan Platinum Portraits from Metal Universe, 97 Metal Universe as well. But this is the Molten Metal Fusion from 1998, serial number 250. BGS 9, one of those cards where the silver BGS 9 label actually looks really good because it matches the silver on the card itself. The card sold 6 times in the last year, including a bunch lately. Just since the beginning of this year. What is that? What are we in March? So in the last 65 days, the card looks like it sold, hell, 45 days, 35 days, the card looks like it sold 3 times just in this grade. 16.8, 15,000, back to 16.2. So not a real surprise there. And the card is up 12% over the last year. What about the last 2 years? Down, right? This card was 19,000 back on June 4th, 2022. So let's look at the Jordan PSA 9, right? Unless you got $250,000 laying around, 9 is going to be your number if you want to put the best 86 Fleer 57 copy you can attain. Unless you want to dump $250,000 on the PSA 10, which has been performing actually really well lately. This is your PSA 9 57. It sold last night for $18,600, which is a monster sale. That is a humongous jump. This is a card that had been sort of trending downward recently at $15,560. Somebody pulled the trigger on $18,600 last night. Again, not a rare card, 2,975 pop in a PSA 9. But there's your deal. Like with that huge sale last night, right? It gets it back to about even over the last year. But here's the funny thing. The starting point sale here of $17,900 was probably the second highest. It looks like that's the second highest sale price out of the last 45 sales. So what are the odds that when you look at the graph, the starting point and the ending point are the 2 highest points on the graph? That's really rare when you've got a sample size of 45 sales. So the card was $17,900 way back when on December 6th. 2023, and now today, last night, actually, it sold for $18,600 with a lot of craziness in between. Again, it just depends on the card and what it looks like, but this is the last 3 months. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is the last 3 months only. The card sells quite often, 45 times in 90 days, so you're looking at one every other day selling. I did want to look at the PSA 10s. That pop is 323 now. I remember when I got back in the hobby, it was, I think, 312 or something like that, so there's been a few added. PSA 10 last sold $372,000. I don't know what that's about. I didn't see that one. On Heritage, $372. It's got an NBA gold sticker, so apparently that matters. Before that, on PWCC Premier, it sold for $216. Before that, it sold for $195. Before that, it sold for $189. Before that, it sold for $186. Damn, it looks like the card's actually moving in the right direction. I don't know about a $372 sale. That seems like a pretty illogical jump for one yellow gold NBA sticker, but that card, again, a quite misleading chart says it's up 90% over the last 3 months. I'd relax with that 372. I don't think that's a sustainable number. I don't think that's the new norm. Let's put it that way. For the PSA 10. And then the card that won the auction and it won it by about $3,000 is the 2006 Exquisite Collection Kobe Bryant Patch Auto. So we saw the Kobe Bryant Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor Seal number 100. Actually, the worst sale out of the last 7 or 8 sales over the last few years. Let's check in on this 2006 Exquisite 1010, making it a Pop 1 Kobe Bryant patch autograph, serial number to 100. But again, 1010 puts it in elite, unparalleled status. So let's look. This is the same card in any grade, highest price ever paid, right? So somebody forked over $26,000 for a BGS 8.5 copy during the chaos, right, in 2021. Here's our sale last night. So 3 times the card has actually sold for more than it did last night of $21,600. All 3 times were during crazy 2021. If we sort by date sold, this card last night will be far, far, far and away the highest price paid for this card in any grade over, what is that, the last 2 years, let's just say safely. So 21.6, a 9.5 copy, it looks like sold for $17,000, about $4,500 less. And then before that, you're dipping way down into the 4,000s, $4,600, $4,800, $6,600. So this is all about the grade. And that particular grade is the best you can get. I guess you can get a BGS 10 or a BGS Black Label, but the PSA 10 grade for the card, 10 for the autograph, puts it in Pop 1 territory, and that's what takes your pricing to a completely different level. So like it or not, Grading matters, and grading puts a 5x multiplier on that card compared to some of the lesser graded copies selling in the 4,000. So interesting stuff there. Let me know what you think about that card. Is 21.6 too much? Or is that about what that's worth because of the elite status that it attains due to that double 10 grade from PSA? And again, it is a perfect autograph. And again, that patch is badass. So it's a good looking card all around. And my God, I mean, Exquisite is as good as it gets for the early to mid 2000s. So Kobe, Jordan, Kobe. LeBron, 86 Fleer, Jordan. So nothing but the creme de la creme at the top on this list. Let me know what you guys think. Did I get anything wrong? I talk fast and I talk a lot, but there's your top 48 cards sold on the PWCC weekly auction number 111 that ended last night on March 3rd. You're always going to get these videos the morning after, but unless disaster strikes or some type of emergency, I try to make sure I stay consistent and get this stuff out to you. I am an affiliate partner with PWCC. I get paid to steer people to buy and sell on PWCC. That being said, if you're interested in buying or interested in selling your cards on these PWCC weekly auctions or with the big dogs on the PWCC Premier auction, please consider using the promo code Cajun for all of your submissions to PWCC if this is how you want to sell your cards. The promo code is Cajun, all caps, CAJUN. When you fill out your submission form, you can't miss it. There's a blank field and it says promo code ? If you type in capital C, capital A, capital J, capital U, capital N, you'll see a little green check mark come up, and then you know you're helping to support my Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel and to continue to bring you the most consistent content on social media as far as it pertains to basketball cards for sure. You can also use my affiliate link. It's in the YouTube description to this very video. Just copy it, paste it into your browser. If you buy cards under my affiliate link, I get a little teeny tiny piece of the PWCC money. It doesn't affect your price, just like the promo code for selling doesn't affect what you net. Let PWCC do the work. If you've got 100 cards, 400 cards, 800 cards, or God forbid, 1,500 cards, you don't feel like listing on eBay and taking pictures of and getting it right and shipping it and getting the return and the eBay authentication, and you don't want to send them to a consignor on eBay because it's hard to keep track of what they did or didn't really sell, give PWCC a shot. Put them all in a box. You don't have to go through and itemize every single card. Put them in a box, generally describe them, ship them up there, use the promo code Cajun, and then watch them sell. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'll be talking about one of your cards in the top 48 or top 96 in the PWCC weekly auction recaps every Monday morning. That's it, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. It's going to be a good Monday. I'm fasting today. I haven't talked about that in a long time, but I did a 3-day fast where I didn't eat for 3 days, and that was bananas, but it was interesting. So I'm just sort of trying some weird stuff to figure out what's going on in my body. So let me know in the comments if any of you guys are into intermittent fasting or maybe doing like extreme, like 3-day fast or 2-day fast and stuff like that. I'm just kind of tinkering around with it right now, and it's kind of interesting to see the results. They've been, overwhelmingly positive, although it's a challenge for sure. So thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Hope you have a great week. Stay positive in the hobby, and peace.